Hey guys, hopefully you caught my last video where I was talking a little bit about Scotland and I was sharing a little bit more about how I wound up there and how I fell in love with the country. And I mentioned in that video that I would probably be making a couple more videos to talk a little bit more about Scotland and why I made the decision to go there to study my discipleship training. So my last video, like I said, I talked a little bit about how I wound up there, and so this video I want to talk a little bit about Scotland and the religious aspects, I guess. So just from my perspective and just from the little bit that I saw while I spent about 2 weeks there and got to help just kind of serve in the tiny little makeshift build your own church there, which was amazing. What I saw was a very small community of young adults who just learned about God, who most of them hadn't been saved a year, who were passionate and so excited and so in love with God, who were trying so hard to reach an unreached nation, if that makes sense. The UK as a whole, from what I've seen and from what I understand, is pretty unreligious, I guess would probably be the best term. If they are religious, it's usually something like the Church of England, which is more Catholic, which kind of is very like ritualistic to a certain degree. But there just recently, over the past years, there's been a movement starting of young, passionate Christians who are trying to show that there's a different way, that there's a more deeper connection available, and I just find that so exciting and so encouraging. I can remember going to a little like Bible study in a local pub, which is silly on its own, and just getting to be so renewed and refreshed by these brand new Christians who were just devouring the Word in a way that I hadn't in such a long time. And it was really cool to realize that this is just starting for this country, that they're just kind of starting to really reach people and really try to show God's love. Because a lot of the people who I came in contact with who weren't religious, if they hadn't ever been or met anybody that was, it was always like a negative experience or somebody who really wasn't loving in the way that I would like to be, the kind of example that one should be to show God's love. And so that's another really cool aspect of something that I'm really excited to be able to bring to Scotland and to the little city of West Kilbride while I study, is to show them God's love and that He is loving and accepting, and to be able to reach this really like young, in a sense, country because there's not a really big movement, and it's just like a really cool, exciting time for Scotland because from what I've seen, again, just from what I've seen, my little perspective, they're just starting, and since I am so in love with the country and the people, it's such a cool time, I think, in Scotland's history to be stepping in and trying to make a difference. So yeah, that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Bye guys. See you next time.